So you've probably heard about the Goenka method and that one little recommendation, 2 hours of meditation every single day. I know, your first thought is likely, no way, that's impossible. But what if I told you it's not? Today, we're going to break down the practical framework that makes this whole thing, well, doable, even for those of us with busy, modern lives. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's just get this out of the way. 2 hours a day. Yeah, it sounds absolutely insane, doesn't it? Your brain probably immediately goes to, nope, I don't have the time, I definitely don't have the discipline, and sit still for that long? You've got to be kidding me. And you know what? That feeling is totally normal. It sounds like something for a monk on a mountaintop, not for, well, for us.
But here's the thing. The secret isn't about just gritting your teeth and powering through. That's a one-way ticket to burnout, I promise you. If you try to do this with sheer willpower, you're gonna fail. The real key, the game changer, is a total shift in your approach. It's not about forcing it. It's about having a smart framework, a system that actually works with your life instead of fighting against it.
So how do we actually do this? How do we make 2 hours feel, well, manageable? The very first thing you got to do is stop picturing it as this one giant 2-hour marathon sit. That's just a recipe for disaster. Instead, we're going to break it up.
Right, so the framework is all about 2 separate 1-hour sessions. Session 1 is in the morning, ideally somewhere between, say, 5 and 7 a.m. Why so early? Because your mind is naturally calmer then, and there are way fewer distractions. You're basically setting a mindful, peaceful tone for the whole day before the craziness starts. Then you've got your evening session, maybe between 8 and 10 p.m. This one has a totally different purpose. It's like a mental shower. You're cleansing all the stress and gunk from the day, which gets you ready for some seriously good sleep.
Okay, so we've got the when figured out. But what about the how? What are you actually supposed to do during that hour on the cushion? The Goenka method is super specific, very structured. It's all about self-observation, and it kicks off with one instruction that sounds simple, but man, is it a challenge.
This right here, this is the bedrock of the whole practice. For 1 full hour, you commit to absolute stillness. You sit down, close your eyes, and you just don't move. No fidgeting, no scratching that itch, and definitely no peeking to see how much time is left. It's this physical stillness that becomes the training ground for your mind. It's like creating a calm, stable container where the real work can actually begin.
So, what are you doing inside that hour of stillness? Well, it's not about chanting mantras or visualizing things. It's way more direct. You start with about 15 minutes of something called anapana. Think of it as a warm-up, a way to get your mind focused. After that, you shift gears into the main event, 45 minutes of the core practice, which is vipassana. So let's break down that first bit, anapana. For those first 15 minutes, your job is incredibly simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. All you have to do is focus your attention right on the area at the entrance of your nostrils. That's it. And you just observe the breath as it comes in and goes out. Is it cool? Is it warm? Is it on the left side, the right, both? You're not trying to change it or control it. You're just watching. Doing this makes your mind really sharp and concentrated, getting it ready for what comes next. And now for the main practice, vipassana. This is where you put that sharp, focused mind to work. For the next 45 minutes, you're going to systematically scan your attention through your entire body. You start at the top of your head and slowly move all the way down to the tips of your toes. And then you go back up, from toes to head. And what are you doing as you scan? You're just looking for any physical sensation at all. Could be heat, could be a tingle, pressure, an itch, a vibration, even pain. Your only job is to notice it. And this is the absolute heart of the entire practice. As you're scanning and finding these sensations, your one and only job is to observe them with total equanimity. That means when you find something pleasant, like a nice warmth, you don't start craving it or wishing it would stay. And when you find something unpleasant, like a sharp pain in your knee, you don't start hating it or wishing it would go away. You are literally retraining your mind to break its lifelong habit of automatic reactions. You just observe, see it for what it is, temporary, and move on.
Okay, so knowing the technique is one part of the puzzle.
But let's be real, doing it day in and day out, that's where the real challenge is. So how do you actually build that kind of unbreakable discipline? How do you stay consistent?
All right, here are some really practical tips to help you stick with it. First, try to have a dedicated spot. It doesn't have to be a whole room. Even just a specific cushion in a corner works. It just signals to your brain, okay, it's time. Second, use a simple timer. That way you're not constantly worried about the time. And this one is huge. You have to stop judging your sits. Some days your mind is going to be a total hurricane. Other days, it'll be peaceful. Who cares? It doesn't matter. The win isn't having a good sit. The win is just showing up. The goal is consistency, not perfection.
Now, all of those tips are super helpful, but there is one rule, one single piece of advice that is more important than all the others combined. This is the thing that will literally make or break your practice in the long run.
And here it is, the golden rule. It all comes down to the number 5. The rule is this: you never, ever miss a day. But listen, on those days when you're sick, you're exhausted, you're traveling, you just have zero time, you don't have to do the hour. You just have to sit for 5 minutes. That's the deal. Why? Because 5 minutes is a huge victory. It keeps the habit alive. It keeps the chain from breaking. See, once you miss one day, it's so much easier to miss the next. So the real goal isn't 2 hours or bust. The real goal is to sit every single day, no exception.
So in the end, this whole thing isn't just about what happens during those 2 hours on the cushion. I mean, that's where you train. But the real point is to take that awareness, that balanced mind, and bring it into the rest of your life.
Like take walking, for example. Instead of just being stuck in your head, worrying about your to-do list, you can actually bring your awareness down to your feet. Just feel the sensation of your foot lifting up, moving forward, and landing on the ground. Suddenly, a totally boring activity becomes a little pocket of mindfulness.
Or how about when you're eating? I mean, how often do we just shovel food in while staring at a screen? Instead, try paying attention. Actually notice the smell, the taste, the texture of the food. Not only does it make the meal way more enjoyable, but you're also strengthening that muscle of observation.
And you can even bring this to your work. Think about it. That skill you've been practicing, noticing your mind has wandered from your breath and gently bringing it back, that's the exact same skill you use when you realize you've drifted off while trying to write an email or a report. You just notice it, no big deal, and bring your focus back to what you were doing.
And really, that's what this all boils down to. The whole practice is just a systematic way to train yourself in pure, non-reactive observation. It's built on this pretty wild idea that if we can just look at the reality of our own mind and body as it is, without judging it or trying to change it, we can completely transform how we experience our lives. So it really just leaves you with one simple but profound question to think about. What would you discover if you just decided to look?